That belongs in a museum.
End very well for me.
It was the single greatest entrance of all time. Frodan just enters a room and goes, "Hey guys, check this out, Yogg," and he just has turn 10 on his iPad. Yeah.
Well, one taunt is going to put quite the obstacle in front of Gallon, but he does draw the execute, and he also has Brawl too, so he has a lot of contingency plans if this doesn't go the way he wants to.
Interesting. So he had the option to Whirlwind there first, which would have hit him a card on his Acolyte and also allowed him to execute them. So right, okay, he's just missed a card draw here, right? So, yeah, I mean, sure.
A little bit too fast. I think he recognized, wow, this is actually a great Brawl board, and then just went for it immediately. Primary looking at Cursed Blade, making sure that you don't need Faces Manipulator. I double your damage for free.
Yep. All right, Bloodhoof Brave number 2 is coming down. There is another Execute left in the deck, if I remember the cards drawn correctly, so does have a way to answer this additional taunt, but putting it in the way of this Armor Smith is a big deal in theory because it allows the Armor Smith to pick up some more armor.
He still has Ravaging Ghoul too, just to attack, and then he finally can play Emperor Thorson behind it. That's a reasonable sized board. You have 11 damage represented, and then you, 13, math is hard, and then you can reduce the cost of Charge and Raging Gordon.
Raging Gordon? Wow.
He's my favorite NBA player. That's his nickname. If I ever join the NBA, that's going to be my nickname. Dan Raging Gordon Cho. The artist formerly known as Frodan.
Dad, you're on solo cast for at least 2 minutes. I'm done. Just give me a sec.
I never said I was good at counting.
Yep.
Leroy plus the Ravaging Ghoul for clearing. This is not exactly what you see all the time, but it's a very cute play to help you control the state of the board here. How much damage would you have if you have Faces right now?
32.
Okay, so 32 with 35. That would be exact lethal.
It certainly would, and there are 2 cards left in the deck. That is not it, but he is able to push Face for 3 right now. Play an additional Loot Hoarder, so he's all right still on damage, but it is getting very, very close to just pulling out of range. Armor's up to 34 next turn and puts a taunt in the way, so things are starting to get a little bit sketchy. That Execute draw, I think, has locked out the game.
Oh, well, yeah, you're right, because that means he can deny the Execute from his opponent being used as well. So the taunt just has to absorb the damage. Although, what happens if he uses Execute and then he just plays Raging Worgen and the Face Manipulator? Can he clear both of them?
If he...
Can one of the Raging Worgens survive at all?
Yes, one of the Raging Worgens can stick on the board. That's a good point, but he will be relying on a situation where that has to stick to the board and attack not just once, but hit Face twice over 2 different turns. So that is a big ask, but sure, that is an option. And of course, Bradford has other options in his deck to deny that as well.
Bradford was hovering over Grommash, thinking he can play it to set up his own pressure for the following turn. Like if he plays Grommash and plays, or even Malkorok here, I don't know if he's exactly calculating that amount of damage. And Gallon's on his last card. Last card is the Faces Manipulator.
I mean, okay, in theory, as long as he pressed that Druid Hero Power, he's out of range. He's done his calculations correctly. I see literally 0 reason to play Malkorok in this situation, though, because that is the only way you lose the game, if suddenly Cursed Blade.
Dude, that is way too close. Bradford just gave himself an opening, and you don't want to, and Gallon realizes he's 1 damage. Off of lethal. He knows it.
Holds up the finger. Yeah, he's going to do it. I think he's going to show us. Is he? Is he going to try and make a play on the board? So like you said, he can have 1 Worgen stick to the board here, but it's going to be contested no matter what he does because there's no value trade that he can use to double Wind Fury into both of them. So no matter what he does, the minion that he leaves on the board will get immediately contested by one of the remaining minions. So he just has no outs here. He's going to deal the damage and say, hey, buddy, I was nice and close, but yeah.
Oh, man. And imagine if he wasn't able to use Grommash to deal with it, or if Bradford Lee was out of cards, we would have taken a single fatigue damage, but that will wrap up